What's happening, Achievers? Ajit Sidhu here from Invincible Achievers. So we all know multitasking is a thing and women are so much better at it than men. However, multitasking has its downfalls and we need to know what these downfalls are so we don't fall into the trap of thinking that if we multitask, we will be able to do better, be better. Now, anyone who's studied this topic will know that multitasking is women have got this in their DNA from the ancestral caveman times when they had to protect their children. When they were raising their children in the cave, they had to be aware of all the dangers that are around and also protect their child whilst making food. The hunter, which was the man, would go out and focus on the kill, focus on getting the food. That's where the multitasking gene was actually embedded into the women. Now, in this day and age, it is very useful and it's a superpower that they have. But is it a superpower that's holding everyone back? Because we as men can also learn to have that superpower of multitasking. However, when you multitask, and you're going to I'm going to ask you a question to reaffirm this. When you multitasking you do, but can you multi-focus? The truth is there's only one focus. We have one focus that we can do. We have one whole focus. When we start multitasking, the amount of focus that we have dilutes. Now, imagine you are on the phone whilst driving a car, trying to have a conversation with your child at the same time as you're trying to have a conversation here. You might be able to do it, but are you focused on the road? Now, everyone knows that most accidents happen when people are on their phone or distracted, but I thought multitasking was a thing. So there's a prime example. How about, say you're cooking away, your child is playing, and you have a family member that's talking to you. If you're cooking, you're not going to make the best food if your focus is in 3-4 places. You're going to keep your child safe, but will they be engaged? Will they have a fun time? Will they have an experience that will be memorable? No, they won't, because you were multitasking, but the multi-focus diluted it to a point where you kept your child safe. They were okay, but they were playing by themselves. The food was okay. It's edible, but it's not the best, the most luxurious food around. The conversation that you were having probably will lead into a bit of an argument, especially if you're a female cooking and there's a man trying to talk, or you're a man cooking and you're a female trying to talk. If it's the same sex, then they might be able to understand. As you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Now, knowing that the multitasking dilutes the focus, what do we do in our everyday life that we dilute the focus? And I am a criminal at this. I do this on a daily basis. I put my focus on many things, many businesses, many things that I'm thinking about. Entrepreneurs have this whole creativity jungle inside of their head where everything fires off at the same time. That's how my brain works. Maybe your brain works like that, but it dilutes the focus. It gets rid of what needs to be done. Now, if you focus on one thing, just one thing, then you can get the results that you want. Now, that doesn't mean you forget everything else. At the time, what you're doing here right now, you're focused on that one thing. When you're at work, you focus on one piece rather than having 10, 15 pieces lying on your table and thinking, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that, or I'm multitasking. That doesn't work. You need to clear your desk, your environment needs to be clean, and then have one piece of work that you are going to focus on fully to absorb the information or give your best effort at. If you are in the gym, get rid of your phone, unless you're using it for music, but switch off everything else. Do not get distracted. If you're in the gym to lose weight, then lose the weight. If you are in the gym to pump up, then pump up. Do not start having conversations and talking to people. But again, if you're there to socialize, then socialize with the people that are socializing, because if you start socializing with a gym goer, a gym rat, they will destroy you. They'll be like, don't talk to me, leave me alone, I'm in my zone. So you have to understand that environment does create. I keep drumming this. I've got this big drum around my neck and I'm beating it. Environment creates us. It creates the person we want to be. If you want to be a computer hacker, or no, not actually, don't be a hacker, a computer person, a programmer, you got to go to Silicon Valley in America and hang out with like-minded people. If you want to be an actor, you got to hang out with like-minded people, or go to Hollywood, where the whole environment everything you see is all about acting and becoming a star. If you want to be a gym personal trainer, hang out in the gym, figure out everything, learn. But sometimes we can't have that environment, and some people are in a situation where their environment, they cannot change at this moment of time. So how do we overcome that? I'm one of these people as well. I want to push in a field where at this moment of time I'm pushing into the digital marketing and the computer internet business world, whilst being in the brick and mortar business. But that's two different worlds that I'm living in. How do I create an environment for myself? You can do it virtually. You can find like-minded people that have put stuff on YouTube or on video and on Facebook. Join a community, a group. It's so easy to create your environment nowadays. However, with the multitasking, multi-focus ideas that I've been discussing, there's one other thing that we need to do and that ensures our success. And this is what we focus on, we bring about. You probably heard this saying. It's not me, this is not my saying. What you focus on, you bring in your life. That's the truth. Where focus goes, energy flows. But what we focus on is usually the end result. Now this is real big key. This was one of those aha moments that I had over the weekend. I've heard it, I've studied it, but sometimes what happens is, imagine you're building a train tracks. You start building your train tracks and you stop. You start building the train tracks somewhere else, and then somewhere else, and then somewhere else. And then you get into the train and start going, and you think, why doesn't it work? Until all the train tracks align and it clicks. Well, this is the point. I had my aha moment. What you focus on counts and changes everything. If you're focused on money, yes, you will get money, but it will be a slow process because you're focusing on the symptom, the result. Yes, start off with the outcome, what you want to achieve. But what tends to happen is we focus all of our energy there. We focus on a six-pack. I want a six-pack, or I want to get thin. I want to get pumped. I want to have money. I want to be in a relationship. What we do is, once we have that in our mind, we start looking at people that already got it and already achieved it, and we start focusing fully on them, on the end result. But guys, we've got to realize that it's not the symptom, the end result, that creates the end result. Happiness is not created by just focusing on happiness. It's by doing things that make you happy. You got to be happy to get happiness. You got to understand what type of lifestyle you want. You got to do the things you enjoy, or enjoy the things you are doing to get the happiness. But what we tend to focus on is, oh, I'm so unhappy, or I haven't reached that happiness. The journey is the happiness. The journey is the money maker. The journey is the route to fitness. So when we focus on the outcome and only on the outcome, that's when we stop and unable to move forward. We don't want to just focus on the outcome. We got to see the target. Imagine you got some arrows at the back here and you get your bow. You need to see the target. You've seen the target, but if you just focus on the target, you're never going to hit the target. The only way you're going to hit the target is by knowing where the target is. It's that way. And get the arrows and start shooting and shooting and practicing and shooting. Doing the process gets you to the end result. Shooting the arrows gets you to the bullseye. Doing what you need to do gets you to your end result. But what we tend to do is we put a vision board up, which is awesome. We focus on the outcome, but we stay there. No. Know that it's there, put it aside, but figure out what needs to be done to get to the end result. If we get into a plane and we just say, if you get to the airport and say, I want to go to Hawaii, I want to go to Hawaii, I want to go to Hawaii, I love Hawaii, I want to go to Hawaii, and you just stay standing still in the airport saying, why aren't I in Hawaii? It won't work because you're just focused on the end result. You got to get through the security checks. You need to go and put your luggage in through the security and onto the trail. You need to walk through the border control. You need to get onto the plane. You need to have faith the pilot knows what he's doing. Then when it lands, you've got to repeat the process and you're in Hawaii, and then you can enjoy it. So guys, what we have to do, just to recap everything, we've got to stop multitasking. By all means, multitask when we need to, but set a time when we need to just focus on the core things, the main things that can change everything. Focus on the one thing you're doing. Focus on the key thing, the priorities that could change everything to get you to your target. So focus. Reduce your multitasking, focus on one area at a time, but make sure it's happening. But also know that the environment that you're in, you need to create that environment to make sure that you're pushing yourself forward. But not only that, we need to know the outcome, the end target, and then work on focusing on the things, on how to get it, how it's done. And I've done a video on this previously on when you do the hows, you need to also maybe have the who's that help you out, because a team is like a rocket jet, a rocket fuel that you put on yourself to propel you forward to your end results. So guys, I hope this really helped. There's a lot of key golden nuggets that's been thrown around. Something that you might want to watch this over again and see. Make notes, just get the aha moment like I did myself whilst going through this process. If it did help, please do hit subscribe, share it, put some comments in so I know that you're listening. And just remember guys, we are one idea away from changing the future. Take care. Bye.